had been watching on YouTube for 6 months. So it was back in May or June, and I had searched gay-friendly churches in Huntsville. I thought Huntsville's the biggest city. Surely there's one, right? United Church of Huntsville came up, but I was scared to death. So I just watched on YouTube every week, and the open and affirming statement talking about who we are and that we value relationships and friendships that are based on trust and love. Don't matter, gay, straight, whatever. As long as it's on love and trust, you're welcomed here. And so one day, end of September last year, I said, you know what, I'm going in person, and I was nervous. I was so scared, like, what are these people gonna think? I've been out of church for 5 years, almost 6 years, and I was really hurt by previous church, and I didn't know what it would be like. I was coming along, but I showed up, and the first thing I saw was the pride flag on the door, and I immediately took a breath of, these are my people. I'm gonna be okay.
We're talking here about how our church, United Church of Huntsville, loves loudly.
For our family in particular, Sunday morning has been a safe place here since our tiny little baby boy was 3 years old. When I walk in the doors, I have come back home and my family is here. I should mention that my wife and I just celebrated our 30th anniversary last week. We have been legally married for 16 years.
When Alex asked me to, if I was interested in helping with a temporary emergency food bank, which 4.5 years later is still going, I said sure, and I had no idea what we were going to do. So we just sort of played it by ear and learned lessons along the way, and now we're an agency of the Food Bank of North Alabama, and are able to buy our food from there, which has been a real blessing, because what we used to spend $800 to $1,000 for, now we get for about $150 or $200, which makes our funding go a whole lot longer. But part of it also is, do you ask anybody for identification? No, we don't. Can anybody get food? Yes, they can. What if they don't make an appointment? Well, we try to accommodate that. So it's that for me, that's one way that the church loves loudly.
I really like this church. The diversity. We can walk in and it's black and white and gay and straight, and they're so accepting of everybody. In my case, the name is Thomas, so it's Doubting Thomas. I'm accepted even with my doubts. Meet a whole lot of people that really care about each other and the world at large. Anyway, the theme is loving loudly. And it's about showing some love to each other, to new people, to many people, and just part of the whole Christian idea that we spread some love around. What do you think about that?
I mean, we follow someone that would literally rather die than hold our stuff against us, so sounds like a plan.
Yeah,
Absolutely clear.
Sometimes Jesus should be called love. It says, do you believe in Jesus? Do you believe in love? And the message of this church is to believe in love, is to believe in Jesus. And the most important part is love, not the words that come from people's mouths that divide people. We would rather unite people and love loudly in a real way.
United Church of Huntsville, for me, has been a place of refuge and a place of hope for going on 25 years now. I've seen a lot of changes in this church. Some were good, some not so good. But right now, I think, I can say for certain that we are at the optimum level of our love among ourselves. People hug each other. People want to know how they're doing. People want to care for each other. And that's not always easy to come by. Not even in churches that say Jesus loves you or whatever. Outreach from agencies like the caregiving committee has been outstanding.
Before I moved here, I was an interim pastor for a small congregation in central Pennsylvania. And the interesting thing is that as we talk about love and being loud and everything, and what Mike just said, and what I heard from others here this morning, the last church that I served, my last name is Matters. I was talking to the outgoing pastor. She says, one thing you ought to know is there's a lot of Matterns here. So there were a lot of Matterns in that church because it was a very common name up there. They were like one kind of family, but when I came to the United Church of Huntsville, I met a totally different kind of family because we were not all interrelated by blood or by marriage or anything like that, but instead we were interrelated and still are very much so by what we believe in. And what we believe is the work that the church can do, the teachings of Jesus and the teachings of the church. That is shown here every Sunday. We love in our community and we love within our community, but it's a love of humanity rather than a love of physical or blood family.